Hey everybody, I am back. Greetings and welcome. I hope everybody's doing good. I kind of took a day off from streaming yesterday, but not today. Hi Boneless, how are you? Thank you for coming. I'm a bit tired today. Tomorrow's Friday though. I'm happy about that. I have reached the end of the work week. I am good. I am good. Yeah, I don't know what you do, but I don't work on the weekends, luckily. But I mean, I kind of do, because I got band practice and stuff most of the time, so I never really have an actual day off, but it's still better than having to go to your 9 to 5 in quotes. Even so, it's been rather pleasant at my job lately, but my boss is kind of bipolar, so that could change at any time. It's actually been surprising how calm and nice it has been at work. I'm like, oh wow, that's different. I'm afraid. Yeah, because it's like you can know at my job it's like, okay, we've had 3 good days now. 3 good days where the boss was not a complete fucking, whatever. It's day 4. We are scared. It's about to happen. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened this week. Nothing, no derogatory words, no aggression, no throwing stuff. Nothing happened this week. I can't believe it. But good, whatever. Makes everybody's life easier. Everybody's job easier too, Because how anxious we get when our bosses act a certain way. They don't care. Yeah, I think there's some money issues involved. And that's kind of like, but the problem is just, why do you have to constantly let it out on us, And it's weird too, because he'll be like perfectly fine one moment, and then just the next moment he is just raging, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like nothing happened. Nothing that could make anybody like this actually happen. And it's like, okay, what's wrong with him? It's so funny. We all just give each other the look like, what the fuck is going on? What happened? What just happened in the last minute that made him like this? Who knows? But yeah. But I've been there 3 years, and I can say that I've had it worse. I've worked at places where it was like, he goes through spurts, which is good because there's breaks in between. But I worked at places where there was no break. There was just constant abuse, no break. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I guess this is the better. What they say in America? The better evil, or the what the fuck is it saying? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I'd rather take this over my past jobs that I had, so. And the money is good. I really cannot complain. And I am a little bit scared of off season, but I really gotta say that in 3 years of working there, even in off season, I was still able to pay my bills, so hello, Mick. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming in. So what are you up to, Bone Lush? How are things going in your life? Oh, good. Very good. Making music is always good. Oh yeah, we talked about this, I believe, in the past. How's that going? Is that going good for you? You're having fun, and is it like satisfying to do it? Are you producing a whole album of some kind, or? That's good. It's kicking your ass. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's tedious. That's what it is. It's tedious, and it's, for some reason, for me, it's like that sometimes I enjoy the tediousness of certain things that I do. I enjoy it being tedious, and I'm like, I get into it, because it's tedious. But then other days I'm just like, I cannot do this right now. You know what I mean? It's really weird. It's like a patience thing. Some days I'm really just like, nope, I do not have it in me. I do not have it in me. It's the same with when I practice music. I practice every day pretty much. and it's just a little bit every day. I sometimes it's longer, sometimes I practice for like 30 minutes, sometimes I practice for 10 minutes, sometimes my guitar player and we practice, that will be maybe an hour, so every day something. But sometimes I pick up the guitar, and I practice a lot on the guitar lately because I'm pretty fluent on the bass, but I have to really get really precise on the guitar. That is my goal right now when it comes to music. That's why I haven't been really writing any more music for my solo project, because I'm more focused on my other band now, Tom, which that's what I've always been doing. The solo project Jovanka is just a side project, really. It's just my own thing. But so I've been really learning all the songs on guitar, and I mean, once in a while I'll pick up this guitar or even the bass, doesn't matter, and I start playing, and it's just like I've never played before. You know what I mean? It's so weird, and it's just like, dude, I just can't do it. Like, I keep hitting the wrong notes, or I'm fucking up, and I'm just like, dude, the pick slips out of my hand, or whatever it happens, and then I'm just like, okay, today is not the day. Today is not the day. Hi, Emily. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. So, that happens. And I can tell when I'm, like, really tired. See, and that's the thing. I used to in the beginning, because I didn't understand. I was getting angry at myself. But, as the years have progressed now, I understand that sometimes you just have a day like that. And I don't get mad. I just put the guitar down, and then I forget about it. And then I'm like, okay, try again next day. And then the next day, it's fine, So I know that it's just like, sometimes it just happens like that. And you can't really, like I said, when I'm really tired sometimes, then I'm just like, there's no way. I'm just like, my wrist is, because I'm in a black metal band, so this is, speed picking is the whole thing the whole time. 35 minutes, 40 minutes like this, So I'm like, okay, it's not happening today. That's okay. I do get a little bit frustrated because I'm like, damn it, I gotta get my practice in. But if you do it every day and then one day it's not happening, it's okay. So the music theory is kind of like, I don't know how to express it in words properly, but I understand it completely, pretty much. You know what I mean? I understand, like, harmonizing. I go by air. I go by the sound. That's how I do it. That's the only way I pretty much do it. I can read a little bit of music because I learned that in high school in Germany, but it was, for some reason, I had a really rough time with it. I couldn't get it. I get it now as an adult, but so it comes pretty natural to me, all of these things, like, the sounds as well as the theory, just how to speak it is a problem. I think it's a little bit of a language barrier still, so I have a really hard time expressing what I'm trying to say when I'm trying to tell somebody, okay, you have this sound here that I really like. Can you play that same sound in a higher pitch? Like, oh, okay, so, so, I don't know. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, ear, but air, sure, air, because the sound waves are in the air. So I was kind of like, oh, air, okay, you can say that, I guess. So yeah, it's been a really fun process doing this because, I talked about this a little bit on my last stream. Music is in my family. Music is in my DNA, pretty much in my blood, And it was always kind of my mom's hope that I would pick up an instrument. And as a child and even as a teenager, I was never really interested. I was an athlete, I was interested in my athletic skill, and I was honing that. And that was really something that I enjoyed way more. But then, then the move to America and me always loving music. I've always been listening to music, metal, always metal, or, my parents started me off with White Snake or fucking whatever. Then it was Michael Jackson, shit like that. So music was always a big thing for me. and I expressed myself always with other people's music, you know. But then when I moved to the US, it was really just like, wow, you know, I met a person that pretty much introduced me to the metal scene, and it was like, whoa, my dream as a teenager was always to be on stage and to be like a singer, you know, but I never realized that there was an importance to actually playing an instrument too, you know, for like certain, you know, a lot of labels, they look at a band and they look at each member, and if there's a member that cannot play an instrument, they're immediately pretty much turned off. You know, if that person can just sing, they're just kind of like, okay, you know, it's that's not really. And I was taught that and learned that really quickly from the beginning of being in the scene. You know, it was like, okay, I can only sing, and I see all these other people on stage, you know, and they're performing, they're singing and playing, or they're just playing, and they're like not even looking when they're playing, and I got envious too, you know. I was like, man, that's like shitty. Like, I'm just singing. That's not good. Yeah, and then it just came to the point too where we had a really hard time finding a bass player, and we really wanted to have a bass player because our sound, you know, it's black metal, so it's very like on a higher end, so it's not really like thumpy, like doomy, like, you know, bone crushing, you know what I mean? So we needed this thump from a bass, and we had a difficult time finding a bass player. You know, it was like, that guy didn't work out, that guy was whatever, that guy didn't do what we tell him to do, that guy, always some kind of shit. And so finally, it was like, okay, you need to pick up the bass, you need to start learning bass. I'm like, there's no way, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. And the beginning stages of me learning to play bass were hard. I'm not gonna lie, they were really hard. I got really angry at myself. Yeah, maybe, you know, maybe it could be, it could totally be something that I may have overlooked, because I, you know, sometimes you overlook signs too. But yeah, the beginning, first, let's say 1-2 years were a little bit like, the first year was really hard. I mean, I was fucking depressed if I didn't get it right, and I wanted to be on stage and play on stage so bad, and I was so afraid. I was not afraid, but I was so nervous when I first got on stage with the bass and singing at the same time, and I was like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna fuck this all up. No, not at all. It worked, and then ever since, after the first show, I got my confidence, and then it was just like, okay, I'm the bass player now, I got this. And I taught it all myself. I got like 3 books on how to learn how to play bass, and I followed the instructions on there, and then, you know, one thing led to another, and then I got it, you know. And then now, you know, it's guitar time. Now I am evolving, you know. So, and I love that shit. I'm having so much fun playing guitar because, you know, it's like the bass is just like, you know, doo, 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 doo. You know, it's like, you know, but the guitar is so small, and it's just like, it's so cool because it's so small, so much smaller, not that big ass thing, you know. Oh yes, patience. I still don't have it. I don't have it. Deal with it. I don't have it. Deal with it. I'm not a patient person ever. I never will be. I try to be patient, you know, but phew, boy, it's hard. Yeah, especially when you work with other people too, you know, because now you have to. Okay, Emily, I see you. Now you have to, like, not just be patient with yourself, but you have to be patient with other people too. And it's like, oh my god, hurry the fuck up. You know, you want to be like, okay, Emily, I'll play you a riff. I don't know how well I'm gonna do live on stream, but that's what you redeemed. That's what you're gonna get. Is that my worn out pick? Yep, it is. I have new picks. No worries. I think this guitar might be completely out of tune right now, but whatever. You gotta just tell me if you can hear it too. I think you can probably hear it. I'm gonna assume. And playing sitting down? Ugh, I don't like that either. Jesus, come on now, guys! There. Little tiny riff. That was a riff out of out of Kutalus Lakan, the first song on our second album. I don't want to play too much because then I'm gonna run out of shit to play. Because I'm not. See, this is the part of the learning process too. You know, I'm very good at learning the songs and then playing them, but you couldn't hear it. But coming up with it myself is still a thing. You know, it's still a learning process too. Coming up is not the problem, but then remembering it right away. And then being able to repeat it immediately, you know, and then piecing all the pieces together for a riff, and then you know, that's something that I'm still not, because I honestly, there was not really time to be able to do that, right? Because the time was limited. I had to learn the set on the bass, and that's pretty much what I spent my last, like, I don't know, 3 years, right? I've been playing bass now for 5 years or something. So the first year and a half, 2, was learning how to play bass, okay? But then after that, it was learning the whole set, right? And for me, I'm a perfectionist. There's no way that I'm going to go on stage and not know this set 150%. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be completely ready. So I pretty much spent my last like 3 years just learning this 40-minute set in and out and every fucking thing. And then in between recording music for the new album, you know, going to practicing the set. So it's been like this. So in between time for actually coming up with music was not really much there. Because, you know, then we were also playing shows and we had to prepare for that. And, you know, so that's still kind of something that I'm slowly learning, you know. So, but, yeah, I hope this was a little cool at least. Thank you for the applause. Thank you. God damn it. You know, I like my chair, but the problem is I like to sit like Indian style, but I have like these, where you put your armrests, and then my legs get stuck underneath, and then they get all scrunched, and it hurts. And I should probably just not sit like that, but I want to sit like that. Damn it. All right. I think I'm comfortable now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I like that you redeemed that, Emily. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I know. And I wanted to use my other chair, but my other chair really sinks in, and that hurts my back really bad. I have to sit on a firm surface. I cannot sit on something soft. That's going to fuck me up. That's a really good question, because honestly, it really depends. It really depends. I can tell you, we've had small shows where literally we played for the other bands that were playing with us. Like, there was nobody there, right? That happens, especially in the black metal scene, or even in the death metal scene. You can have this happening, and we could have an awful time, right? We were disappointed. We were like, damn it, there was nobody there, you know. blah blah blah. Or we had the same scenario, but we made some great conversation. We had a blast. We made connections with new members from other bands, and really just like, and it was like a wondrous experience, right? Then we have the big shows that we've played, they were always good, right? We never had like, it was never where we could say, playing big shows is shitty. We're never going to do it again. No. We played, I mean, you know, big shows for us as a local band. We played a show in Lakeland. It was the Black Mass, and it was such a great, it was so, there were like, I don't know, 300, 350 people. There were a lot of people there. And it was fucking like, it was so great. It was so amazing. I sold one of my paintings. I auctioned off one of my paintings. That was really awesome too. Or it was like, it wasn't an auction off, it was like a raffle. Somebody won one of my paintings, and then another one I sold. And then it was just really, there was so much going on too, you know, and I had my whole setup with all my paintings too, and it was just a great time. It was a brand new venue. It was a nice venue, right? And it was a somewhere where we'd never played before, and we did we play there again a second time? No, I don't think so. I don't think we ever went back there. But that was a big show, and that was awesome. So now we had another big show, and it was in Ocala at O'Malley's, and I'm telling you, it was so packed, and we played outside, and it was in August, and I was sweating so profusely, and so was everybody, right? Because it's Florida, August, like, you're gonna sweat your ass off, even if you stand still. That's how bad the humidity and the heat gets here. So it was like, it was so packed that people were like, come, because the stage is like really just right there, you know, they can step onto the stage. That's how like how close it is to the ground. So people were like stepping off stage and then jumping off stage, and the crowd was like, you know, they were doing pits, they were mosh pits, and people were on the balconies, and it was so packed, man. It was so packed. I think there must have been probably there were about 350 to maybe 400 people or something like that, and it was packed, and it was so hot, and there was a couple of times where I was seeing stars. I'm like, oh shit, I might be passing out right now. This is really, you know, I'm like, da, 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 and I'm sweating. But I made it through. and that was so fucked up because my guitar player too, he popped his string 3 times. 3 strings he popped. And it was like, fuck. But the crowd loved it. The crowd loved it. They were so excited, and we were excited, and yeah, that those are the 2 shows that I will never forget, man. We had such a good time. I mean, I remember many shows, but when it comes to big crowds, you know, yeah, those were the things. And I love O'Malley's. O'Malley's is like one of my favorite places to play. That was literally our second show ever that we played there, and it was like, the sound there is so good. But, you know, oftentimes this is the case when you play outside, you know, because you can just hear everything, and, you know, it just, it's better. It's just better acoustics, and you know, when you're inside, it's enclosed, and you really rely on the person that does the sound management, the sound guy, to be able to make your mix right, you know, how you want it. But, you know, we are professionals. We understand that we cannot always rely on that. It happens almost all the time. There will be some kind of issue with the sound where one member can't hear the other member, so they cannot know, I cannot hear the keyboards, or the guitar player cannot hear my bass, or whatever. But we all always have to remember, you know, our measures and everything, so that we can just follow through, you know. And we're also very good because, you know, all of the musicians that play, you know, that I play with, they've been doing this for 20 plus years. So they have been performing for as long as well. So it's like, okay, they understand how it is when we fall out of place for a technical reason, that we cannot hear each other or whatever, or somebody misstepped and played something wrong or whatever. they know how to bring us all back in too. That's also a talent that you gotta have, and that's something that you learn as a performer as you go. Two things to bring the band back into the right timing, into the right riffs and everything, and also doing it so invisibly that the crowd can never even know, that the crowd has no idea that there was just an error that occurred. That is obviously also a secret of the performer, but performers know that. And it doesn't ever really happen to us. It happens once in a while that there's a misstep, and then, oh, okay, somebody ended the riff too early. Oh, okay, we'll just jump with him then. If he thinks we're there, we're just gonna go with him. It's fine. It's just keeping your cool and just concentrating, and you're playing, and there's no mistakes. This is all supposed to be this way. So yeah, it's a wonderful experience. Like I said the other time in stream, it's for me really, and this sounds really shitty, but the only time that I really feel something so strongly in my heart is when I'm on stage. When I feel actual euphoria, when I feel what people call happiness, is when I'm on stage. That's it. That is literally the time. Okay, also when I finish a painting and I hang it up or something like that. But mainly when I'm on stage, and it just comes natural, and the people are always just so they don't understand what comes out of us, because black metal is very, very rare in this area here, especially like real black metal, right? People like to call themselves Black and Death or Black and fucking grindcore. They named themselves all these fucking weird shits, but real black metal is very rare here. So we are a rarity. So when we play, people are like, they don't know what to expect, and then they hear us and see us, and they're just like, it's so funny when I'm on stage and I'm looking at these people and I see their faces. I'm just like, because they're just like, that's all I ever see, like, and they're like mesmerized. And then after the set, they'll come up, you guys are really awesome. And it's like, thanks, man. Yeah, that's cool. So we are all excited. We have our drummer now, and he's doing such a fantastic job, and he's just so great to work with him. And it just feels right. Everything at this moment right now feels right. And I can honestly say that when it really kind of comes to the drummer situation, that I have never really felt it be this, like it's supposed to be like this. You know what I mean? And that's a really good sign, when it feels natural, when it feels meant to be in that sense. And that's what I feel. And I think that the rest of my members feel the same way. So it's growing together. It's a learning process, but we are preparing, and we're going to get ready, and we're going to be on stage soon again, and I cannot wait. So, so the end of the story is pretty much, I don't work on the weekends because I keep this over for my band. Because Sundays is our practice days normally, and then Saturdays we perform, and I really do want to try to get into performing more, because oftentimes it's like maybe once a month or something. I want to do more. If we can do more, I want to be able to do more, and luckily I have really good, our band has a really good support system. Other bands are supportive of us. They try to involve us. We want to play with you guys, can you guys play with us, just show. And then we have, of course, promoters. One in particular, that's our guy, and he'll put us on anything. If we ask him, like, can we be on the show, he'll fit us in somehow, because he's just very supportive of us. Even so, he's more of, he's the leader of the death metal scene. He runs the Florida death metal scene, but he is also a musician, and he has an understanding about what we do, what we represent, and the sound of our music. And so he's very supportive of us, and so really good. We have I think we're really lucky. We have had very limited dramatic scenarios. There's politics involved. I'm sure if you're a musician, in the scene when you have other bands, promoters, venues, there's politics, there's cliques, there's jibber jabber, there's talking behind the back, stabbing in the back, thieving, fucking, there's a bunch of shit going on, dramatic shit. And I can really say that in this whole time that our band has been a band, we've had very little of that compared to other bands. I mean, I've heard bands, they had some shit going on where it's like, oh my God, dude. And we didn't have that. We had the one promoter that we had a hard time with one time. We had, I had a hard time with the one promoter that I was just speaking about, but we kind of let this water be under the bridge, and it's fine, because misunderstandings happen, mistakes happen, and I'm all for second chances too, so that's fine. And other than that, we've never had really issues. Never. We're always still welcome any place that we've played. We've never been banned anywhere. I mean, I don't know. It's karmic maybe. It is a magnetism. We send out these things. We always go out to try to give our best and try to treat people fairly and with respect. And we're very diplomatic, and we're very disciplined when it comes to our music and what we do and our band. So I feel that we radiate that, and I feel that this is how we excrete the magnetism that brings us these things. And that is what is luck, but also sometimes, it's just something, it floats around, and where it lands, and then that's luck. You know what I mean? So I think that, in the satanic world, they speak about, you want to really excrete this energy and this magic to say, this is what I want, and I'm going to get that. And then more often than not, it is the case, because you force your will into this. You use your willpower to an end. Of course, yes, they can, but you have to think ahead. It's oftentimes people make choices and they think, oh, this is a good choice to make, this will bring me luck in my life, this will bring me happiness, but they only think so far. They don't think it all the way through, and then it just gets completely tumbles and just a downward spiral from there, and then it just is shit, because everything can sound so great at first, but you have to really think things through. You cannot just do something. You gotta really think about it and make the right choices. And of course, even if you think you have thought it through to the end, there can always be some kind of stipulation that can occur. I'm trying to fix my shit back here. So the possibility is always there that it doesn't work out, no matter how much you thought about it. What do you mean? Luck is greed? That's interesting that you would say that, because that's another thing that is one of these things that Satanism promotes. Is like, in Christianity, greed is considered one of the bad sins, but it really is, so that if you don't have greed, that means that you don't have any kind of ambition. That means you're never going to reach anything. You got to have a little, to want something means a small amount of greed. That's just how it is, and if you don't have that, then you have no desire to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, when you get up in the morning, go to work, you are greedy to make money so you can pay your bills, Well, I mean, when it comes to when it comes to the dice, I mean, that's again, it's I believe it's the same thing. If it doesn't happen, maybe the energy you were sending out was not exactly focused in exactly to that point, because that's how it is, because we are humans. It's very hard to really, really, really just truly be at that one spot. Want these sevens, want these sevens, want these sevens, want these like, it's almost impossible, right? So if it then doesn't happen, it just makes perfect sense. The cards, that's a math thing. You can literally mathematically figure out how to get these cards, because we know that can be done. I'm a very good poker player, because I'm pretty much like Texas Hold'em. I'm pretty much very aware of what other people could possibly have. I go by process of elimination. Okay, see, that's the thing. That's very, very good statement there, because people want to say, like Bone Lush said earlier, you think it was a sign that your band couldn't find a bass player, and now you're the bass player, and now this is like how it's supposed to be. I didn't see it as a sign. I did not feel it as a sign, but it could have been a sign by fate that I had overlooked. Just as a lot of people say, "Oh, this was fate. This was meant to be. The gods did it. God did it. Satan did. Whoever did it." And it's not. See, that's why I always speak of, you always still have to rely first and foremost on logic and on reason and on science. Okay, don't live in this fucking like dream world that now everything that's happening is a sign. That's not how it is, because sometimes it really is just nature. Like, sometimes, me putting this glass here, that is not some kind of fucking magical thing that's occurring. That is just, hard to explain what I'm meaning, but yeah, and see, and that's where you have to. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I'm planted very much in my feet in reality, very much. There are not signs all the time. It's not like that. Like people do that. They'll be like, "Oh my God, this is a sign," And I oftentimes, like I said, it's very hard to tell the difference. It could be complete coincidence, or it could be really a sign. That happens, that you cannot know. But there are these circumstances most of the time where, like, that's not a sign, right? That's just like coincidence. But there are signs, like, they have happened to me. But they are you count them. You can literally count them, because this thing, whatever you want to call it, karma, magic, the universe, fucking dark matter, whatever you want to fucking call it, fate, is so scattered out, this energy, that it's so just like all around us. For it to zoom in and do this, it has to be like there's something really strong happening there, and that doesn't happen like that all the time. That's just what that's my belief. That is what I have seen. That's what I've experienced. You can, but there's a feeling to it too. There is, for me, it is really like in that moment when a sign happens, there are many different things that make me know this is a sign. It's not just, oh, I just saw a bird, that must be a sign. No, there's like, then in that moment, many other things happen at the same time, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, that is not, that's not a coincidence here. You know what I mean? But it's like people will be so like you said, people, oh, hi, weird, hi. I think that, yeah, when you say, and even when you say, you high. Now you high. Oh my god, I don't want to see. I don't like that stuff. That's why I don't do these hallucinogenic drugs, because my mind is already like, I have always had a vivid imagination. Okay, and so it's like, it is a bad idea for me. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea for me. So that's why, like, as soon as he says shit like that, I'm like, when my guitar player talked about that one time. No, you know what? I'm not gonna get into this, cause when he told me the story that he fucking like had this thing when he was doing whatever, I couldn't stop thinking about the scenario that he was telling me that he was seeing for like 3 weeks. So I'm not gonna bring it out. Get it out of my head. I gotta get it out of my head. Okay. So fucked up, man. I cannot. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. Because I take that shit to another level. Like, you guys will look at this shit and be like, oh, you know, like, oh, and I'll be like, I'll take this to a whole nother level. No good for me. I'll get a heart attack. The one. Yeah, see? That's magic right there. That's magic. That ain't no coincidence. Or is it? You have to know the difference. Like, that's exactly it. If you don't know the difference, then you live really in delusion, like, and that's dangerous. Right? I know. No, that there is a certain feeling. There's a certain. Yeah. Of course. Always. Like, there can be whatever happens. I think about this like, blah, 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 for minutes, like really fast. Like, I don't know how to explain. My brain goes through all these different things and just like exclude this. What is it? Oh, okay. No, that's a sign. You know, it's, you have to really consider all the surroundings of this event happening to say that this is happening right in front of my eyes the way it is right now is virtually impossible. Okay? It's not really likely or possible. So, you know, or the way something happens. So, it could be very much so a sign. Yes. That is something that goes through my mind all the time. Like, the fact that I am, like, here, that I am me, that I'm, like, that I'm even alive, that I was born. You know what I mean? That's so cool. That's so cool to think about. I believe in many things. I believe in very many things. But it is really cool to think about these things, you know? Why? You know stuff or something? I gotta make sure that I'm checking my Twitch here too, because if somebody redeems any channel points, I don't get that message in my multi-stream. Well, I'm glad to see you, Mr. Weird. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going good for you right now in your life. Oh, I forgot this turns on. You know, I haven't seen Miguel in a minute. I miss Miguel. Where is he at? I was finally able to have some time well, I updated my processor first of all. That could have already been something. And then I had time to download the driver and update the driver for my interface. And have you noticed, guys? No sound outages. I am fucking stoked. Yay. Yeah, I'm happy about it. So also, I don't know if you're still here, Mr. Weird, but I have come to the conclusion now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me read that first. No, you know, honestly, if you didn't word it like the way you did, that's what psychics do. That's what I do. That's literally what I do. I can I can look at a person. I can look at a person, which is DNA, and I can predict the person's future. Right? That's what you were saying, right? Unless I. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know why it's so much fun. But Mr. Weird, what I was gonna say is I have made this decision now that anybody that subscribes to me, they get a free monthly reading too. So you still have a reading for March whenever you want to redeem it. I'm gonna make a list. I mean, as of right now, it's not really that big of a list. So you and Miguel both have a reading open for March. So let me know at any time. You know, you can also just collect your readings for like 3 months or so, and then you have 3 readings and you do them, you know. But whatever, that wouldn't really be a smart thing to do to say. But yeah, you can do whatever. So you have an open reading with me for March. Now, if you stay subscribed to me, then you have one, you know, each month. So I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Or was this already meant to be that you do that? Or, yeah, does it change everything now? Because that's what I think about. Sounds good, Weird. Thank you. That's what I always think about. Like, when things change, when I make a decision, is it like, was this already fate that I made this decision, that I changed my mind? Was that already in the story too? Or is this now actually changing the story? Am I actually changing my own fate? I don't think so. But, you know, it's a thought. It's a thought. Exactly. Exactly. They may never know. Deja vu is one of the most interesting things. Yeah. Right. That's exactly what I said last time when I talked about deja vu. My deja vus are usually, they are, there's, how did I explain it? It's like, it's exactly the same thing, but I can feel that it's like in a different time or something. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's like something different about it that makes me know that this is not just a repetition of something that already happened in this life right now, or in this reality right now, or in this universe right now, whatever you want to call it, dimension right now, but that it was somewhere, some other time, some other place, it was not the same, you know? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it because it's like, it's I feel weird because I feel almost like I can't. Then I sit there, right? Because if my deja vu says I'm about to do this, I sit there like, don't do that, don't do that, because like, I don't know. I want to see what happens. Am I gonna implode if I don't do what the deja vu? You know? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Tested. Yeah, I do that. I try to test that shit. It's so interesting. Deja vu is about one of the weirdest things. But I also think that dreams are very much, if not just as much, intriguing as deja vu, because I am sure, like, I don't like to use really the term astral travel, just like I don't really like the term spirituality and witch. Those are like the three terms, because people have been wearing that shit out and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. But for lack of better term, I do believe that astral travel is a real thing, right? And sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes you can really say, okay, this was not just a fucking dream. This was not just a dream because of such and such reasoning. But then other times you can be unsure. And then other times dreams are very much signs of things, but it's very hard to figure out, what are these signs? Are these signs of something to come? Are these signs reminding you of something of the past? Are these signs of a feeling inside of you? It's really difficult to figure this out sometimes, you know what I mean? So I love dreaming. I love dreaming. You guys want to hear a dream I had the other night? I, I I thought about it all day to talk about it on stream, and then I said no, I'm not going to talk about it on stream. But you know what? I think I'm going to talk about it. It's a very short dream. I had a dream that I was in Egypt. Okay. Hmm. That's a good thought. That's a good thought. That could be very, very possible. Could be very possible. Absolutely. Yes. And we will. And when, I mean, not our generation, probably not a couple generations past us either, but we will eventually. We will figure it out. And it will be like, I think it'll be a very catastrophic realization. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go fucking crazy. Unless it's going to be just like any other progress we've made, like very slowly progressing and evolving. But at the rate that we're going, it might be a really just like a fucking crash course in consciousness suddenly. You know what I'm saying? Luck will help us most likely. The gods, fate, Jesus, Satan. Um, so my dream, I was in Egypt. I was in Egypt and I stood in Egypt, and everything around me was very dark and it was like grainy. And then there was a lion in front of me, and it was a big lion with his mane, and his eyes were, there were no eyes. It was just black, and it was like corpse paint around his eyes, like black around his eyes, like a, what do you call, like a smoky eye. That's what his eyes looked like. And he came and he walked toward me and he was staring at me, but he wasn't trying to kill me or anything. He just walked toward me, and behind me was something screaming, but it wasn't like a human scream. It was like a, and it was so loud, and it was so, was like, it made everything like shake because it was so deep, and it was like it was trying to say something. It wasn't just a scream. It was like trying to say a word. and it was a sign. I could feel in the dream that this was this whatever that was behind me. It was almost like I was kind of like assuming it was a mummy or something that was doing it, because I'm in Egypt. I guess that's just kind of like whatever, it goes through your head. But ultimately, I had no idea what that was screaming like this behind me, and what this one was saying to me. It was telling me to do something, like you must, blah, 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 you will, blah, like something. It was so crazy. And then I had just a boring random dream right after that one, but it was so. What was that? I don't know. Maybe. You never know. A sign. Nah. The internet is kind of cool. I like the internet. I'm happy we have it. An alien, yeah. I mean, if you are an alien, then you would probably most likely be able to do that, because, well, I mean, not necessarily, because technology could be way behind. You could still be a Neanderthal, but maybe you are an alien. Carthranus, is that like that sounds almost like a Greek. So what is the name of your planet? No, because because other people see you type in here, so I know I'm not fucking crazy. But if you were my dream, you didn't even know that I existed, right? Unless you're somebody that I already know that just made that name or something to come in my chat and say the shit. So the third eye is not deceiving at all. The third eye is the only seeing eye. But then it is true, though. There's a lot to see in people's eyes. There is so much. I like doing that. I like really looking into people's eyes, and then I just like kind of dive into their thing and get all weird. Because like it's a mirror of the soul. It really, the eyes hold, I feel like the eyes are just like the heart, but the eyes are really an extension of the brain too. So that's why I know that the eyes hold everything. They hold all the memories, all the feelings. Yeah, eyes are cool. They are. My eyes look fucking weird. But brown eyes are always hard, though. Really dark brown eyes are very. I mean, honestly, oftentimes I have to unfortunately relate those to negative experiences. Honestly, which really sucks. And at these dark brown eyes, I will stare like crazy at those eyes because I cannot see in them because it's like just black, and I'm like, I don't like that. I can't see. I can't see in there. It's like a closed wall, you know? Your back weird? They are. Yeah. Nah, it's, I guess, so, yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All of these things are really cool factors. Just like we talked in the last stream about how The heart is also a storage unit, and it stores memory just like the brain does. That is such a the thought of that. I mean, I always kind of knew that, right? I always thought that, but that was the spirituality in me, right? That was never proven fact. But when scientists actually came out with it and said they found legitimate proof that this is a thing, I was so happy. I was so happy. I was like, okay, this is great. That's what I always say, that oftentimes magic and these things, the spiritual realm, spirituality, all of these things, it's just undiscovered science. We just have not reached the consciousness yet in order to, support these claims. We have not reached the mathematical, progress in order to put these things into equations. You know what I mean? But we will. We will. So it's cool to think about that. Oh my god. I'm telling you, I'm so sick of that shit. I'm so sick of that shit. In Florida. I'm in Florida. Where are you at? You're in Egypt. I know, me too. I do. I really do. Because it's like, life's just too boring if you're not. Life, like, you should never be like this and living it exactly like how everybody else lives it. I see, like, a lot of my people, or my friends on Facebook, especially my European people. I mean, all of their families look the same. All of their house interior designs look the same. The decorations are virtually non-existent. All look the same. Everything looks the same. Everybody looks the same. Everybody does the same thing. I'm like, bro, you're gonna die soon. That's all you're gonna do? Oh my god, no. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. That's the only way that we can unlock these things, and that's the only way we can discover things, by stepping into uncharted territory. That's the only way any scientist has ever made anything. You know? No, I have not. I thought about that, actually. I felt guilty. I was like, damn, I haven't even watched anything. But I really didn't have the time. And yesterday I had a day out with the girls. Yesterday I had a girls' day out with my two new friends that I've made. And we spend the weekends together now often. And it's really, it's fun. They're like both, well, the one is like, I don't know, she's like 10 years older than me. And the other one's like 20 years older than me. But, I have a hard time with people in my age group because they're all raising kids and they're all normies and shit like that. You know what I mean? And they're all like, girls, let's go to the club and dance on other guys and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, okay, bye. I'm going to go and have spikes and drink some blood. See you later. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my god, you're so weird. And it's like, yeah, I know. No, it is. We talked about that. Mr. Weird here, he's a very, like, loyal person to come in my chat and everything. So it's like, it's so hard to find like-minded people. It's so difficult, because you always get looked at in some weird way, or it's like people rather talk about fucking, I don't know. I mean, granted, my two friends that I hang out with, they're not spiritual like that at all. They're Christian, they're normies. They're really normies, But this is kind of like my break time, right? This is kind of like okay, let me just drink some beers at a bar and just talk about nonsense, And then if somebody picks on the topic of spirituality, what is your belief, da da. Then I lash out a little bit. Then I go a little bit into it and give them a little glimpse of what I'm all about. But the rest of the time, it's just like, I don't care. Let's talk about guys. Let's talk about nonsense. You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of like, okay, it's break time. We're just having a nonsense type of day. But when I do this here is meaningful to me. This means a lot to me. This is why I do this. Because I'm trying to forge deeper connections with other humans. I have very deep connections with all my animals, but, you know, human connection would be nice too. Because, I mean, everybody around me is a normie, you know? So I even have to, like, always kind of watch what I say because so many people get so scared right away and they get so weirded out. And then, you know, it starts with being weirded out and it starts with being scared and whatever you want to call it. And then it turns into, then they start getting angry, right? Then this whole feeling of scared and of intimidation and of weirded out turns into this hate because I'm different. And then they start trying to, you know, like persecute me and try to get me out of there because they don't like me anymore, right? So I have to be really like, at my job, for instance, you know, I try to be just up to par. I know the people where I can make little comments and remarks and it's fine, but I know the people where I'm not going to do it because they're going to try to drive me out of my job, you know? Oh, yeah, the normies... Normies are hilarious, dude. They tread so carefully through life. That's what they do. They tread like I literally like they do it not just in here, but they do it virtually, visibly. They tread like they're going on very thin ice. That's what they do, and it's just kind of like, wow, dude. I feel bad. I've oftentimes I pity them. But that's exactly one of those reasons I would like to reach out to them and be like, hey, you can be weird with me. It's cool. But then, you know how most of them, I'm not weird. Like, get away from me. You know what I mean? How they would react probably. You know, that actually kind of works when you use sympathy and try to get close to them that way. That actually works. I have done that with a couple of people and it actually has worked, you know. Thoughts of music having coincidences of mentioning things? Like what? Because there's a lot of shit we can talk about with that. Remember that how they had that whole thing when you play like the Beatles song backwards or some shit? It's like some kind of, it's like ancient Sumerian language that's being spoken, and you know, praise Satan and shit. But you know, we know it's garbage, it's bullshit. But I'm not sure exactly what you mean, so I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. So when like Jimi Hendrix has a song and he talks about dying from overdose or some shit like that, and then that actually happens. Cause that is. I mean, in that scenario, I would not consider it like. This is just an example. I don't know if that ever happened, guys. Don't take, you know, that's just an example. It's just a theory, and we're just using those names, right? So it's like, okay, if that were like that, then I don't believe that it was any kind of sign or any kind of fate, because that was just something that he was going through this whole time anyway. So then that happened anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that was just like pre-programmed already. Okay. Okay. Love this. This is such a great topic. Yes. Okay. Okay, so that's the thing. When this happens, you have to really, really understand all your surroundings. What happened before, right before, you know, and all of this shit. Did you, in some way, lead this on, right? Did you, because, you know, we we talk about this sometimes that they can hear us through the microphone, right? Because of the advertisements that are shown. Could be true, could not be true. Let's just assume it's true, right? Could it have been that your phone was right there? You were talking to your friend, hey man, let's play some cards, man. Let's play some cards. Oh man, if I get those kings today, blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, this is being picked up. Your phone, the algorithm is interpreting this, right? So the word king is a key word. So it triggers the music that's being played on your Pandora to play a song that talks about somebody ruling like a king, if you will. See what I'm saying? That's a trigger. That is not a sign. That is nothing. That is nothing. Now you have neutralized it. It's nothing. Moving on. That's how I live my life. That's how I live my life, because that's exactly how it goes. You have to really put everything in consideration, because we have to have reason before anything else. We have to have logic, science, and reason and proof before anything else. That is a big no-no to me. People want to be like, oh my God, can you believe it? It's like, no. I know why this just happened. Why? Not to mention that when you have, and I like to call it a gift because it is a gift. When you have a gift like me where I'm a psychic, I can already know. Like, I can literally sometimes sit there and be like, this shit's about to come on. And then it comes on and people are like, are you serious? How did you know that? Now, I cannot tell them how I knew that, because then I give away my secret of how, what I do, how this works. But just trust me. Just trust me. Don't worry. I know, but it's just kind of like, I don't. Well, it is so weird though. Again, that you say that, because I went through that thought process today. I sat there and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, I gotta kind of stop being so rational with these things when it comes to these things, because I'm taking the fun out of everything." But it is because I am a person that is very afraid of accidentally overstepping the line and then ending up in a nut house. And I don't want that. Right? Because there's the one thing you can never do to Dragana. The one thing you don't ever do to Dragana is incarcerating her. And anyway, taking her freedom away is absolutely not allowed and can never be accepted at any time. So that is always my fear, because here in America, it's like they will just take you away and put you in a nut house and won't let you out, and I will flip out. Yeah, see, that's why. See, the thing is too, though, that is another good conversation, because prayers is great, but the problem is that most people that are involved in the Christian faith, they generally just practice it wrong and not exactly at all what Jesus had in mind, right? And when they even send out prayers, it is for firstly their own safety, right? I did something. I did speak to God. I did my part. So now I can still go to heaven, okay? And it's for the self-satisfaction as well. So it's already flawed right there. So the energy that's sent out from the beginning is already dispersing. It already disperses. Except for, of course, the people that really sit there and really mean it and really are people that really follow what Jesus was trying to do, essentially, right? So it's like, it's then that's why I can never take that shit seriously, because it's the people that always say God bless, be blessed, like God watches over you. You just gotta trust God. All of that shit, it's so what do you call this? That C word again that I couldn't think about. Last time. Like they're better, like they're above. us, or other thinking people. And it's like, really, you just let your whole life sit there and say, oh, God's gonna do it all? And it's like, no, dude, like, that's fucked. That's not how you do it. Or it's God's will when a little baby freaking gets murdered. What? No, it's not this all loving God that you're talking about. Maybe a pagan God. Sure, because we don't sit here and say that our gods are all that. You know what I mean? They're all loving. They love us, but they will condemn us to hell, to Helheim or Niflheim if we don't believe. Blah, blah, blah. We don't make a secret out of the atrocities that the gods, So it's like, there's a lot to it. So I do believe if it's genuine, it is really genuine, and it's sent out, and this is magic being sent out. This is magnetism and energy being sent out. If it's genuine, then it can maybe help, slightly or not. Depends. It depends on who you are, what person you are, how much power you wield, how much energy is coursing within you that you can actually harness and actually use. And is this real, or is this your own imagination, or is this or is this something that you're just pretending? There's so many variables to all of this shit, We may never know. Yeah, you can have these visions. I mean, it happens to me that I will sit there and my eyes are open, but I'm seeing pictures in my head, this daydreaming thing, and I see nothing that's in front of my eyes, and then I literally come out of this vision, and then I'm like, whoa, I didn't even see anything that was in front of my eyes in that moment. I was so in there. That is a really cool feeling. It's a little bit scary because, you're just like, how's this even possible? But it does happen, and it's cool. It's cool. Both. I can do both. I could do it right now if I wanted to. I can do both. But sometimes oftentimes it's not controlled, because like when you think about something, when you have to answer something or whatever, you think about something, then you go in your head and you see it in your head. That's how I do it. I see it in my head. I guess I have like a, what do you call it, like a picture brain. What do they call it? But I'm a visual person, so I envision this, and then in that moment I don't see anything that's in front of me. I still see what's in front of me, but in that moment I don't realize that I'm seeing it, because I'm seeing what's in here. You know what I mean? And that's not controlled in the way that I'm controlling not seeing and just being in there, but I'm trying to just think, right? So I don't know. It's like when I daydream then and have these visions, then I feel like my third eye is actually spot on, because that's what I think is the third eye. I believe the third eye is, people like to always think that the third eye is something that looks out to find and sees around, but I think it is too. But I think it's also very much an inverted thing too, right? The third eye does both. It looks out and it also looks in. Okay, so that's what I really think. That is the only way it can be a third eye, because that's the only way that you can be able to gain all the knowledge, or try to, at least, by being able to go either or direction. You can never just find everything looking out with your third eye. You have to look inwardly, because I do believe that, the way we are wired, everything, we are pretty much a universe within a universe within a universe. I have thought about this babushka, the Russian babushka. That's what I think. When you look, when you can see sometimes these really great pictures of what the veins look on a leaf, and how our veins in our body look. we're very similar. All these things, we all come from the same thing, and then split up into different, little particles, and then different species became, and then we evolved, and all of that good stuff. Mm. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. I mean, for sure that it's like an awakening process, but it's painful so much because when this happens, things change all the time, and sometimes it's painful. More often than not, it's depressing and painful because you go through a lot of loneliness. You're alone a lot, and I'm not talking about even physically, but with yourself, you're like alone when this happens. Another good topic. But there is sometimes, like, I can dream my ear hurts, and then I wake up and my ear hurts because I was laying on my earring. But isn't it weird? Then you dream something hurts, and you wake up, it doesn't hurt at all. Did it hurt while you were dreaming, though, maybe? You see what I mean? You bring up really good points. I like this. Yeah, because you don't know. You don't know. Because you're dreaming. You're sleeping. Or are you? Yeah, because even sleeping itself is the weirdest fucking thing. What the fuck is that? You're laying there with your eyes closed and you're unconscious and you're breathing and you're not dead? And you do that for like hours? What is that? That's such a weird thought to me. That is a weird... When I think about just the automation of just breathing, we just breathe. We don't think about it at all. We just do it. Isn't that weird? That's weird. We are weird as... Living creatures are weird as creatures. I mean, everything is living. I mean, inanimate are better, right? Like a keyboard or something that doesn't, that makes more sense to me than what we do or what animals do or trees. That stuff is so wondrous to me, wonderful, and just such a thing to think about. Can I speak in those bodies? Like, what do you mean? In my visions? Yeah, I can. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, of course. I can. But it's imagination. If I make it so, then yeah, I can. Yeah. Mhm. I play music in my head all the time when I'm at work. When I'm at work, I play music in my head all the time. I play like a song that I like, and it goes through my head, and then and then I start humming along with it. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. And it's so funny because the older I get, the more I discover, like, you can really live your life in there. You can really but then that would be then you would be a catatonic, or whatever that's called. Cathar cath, cath, yeah, catatonic, I believe it's called. But it is so much fun when you can control it. No, it's not schizo. Anybody can do that. It's not necessarily a mental disorder at all. It's just some people can't do that, and some people, when it's like a disorder is when you cannot control it. That's kind of how I view it. when you cannot control it, and when it becomes a problem in your daily life, right? Then it's not a gift or not something good to do, but it's a disorder, and then needs to be medication for it. You know what I mean? But as long as you can control, and also, like, we can't control it all the time, but it's normal that you cannot control this all the time. But there's parts where people with schizophrenia, they cannot control it for long periods of time, and they cannot control the excess of it and how they act and all. Like, there's many different things, and then that's unfortunately a disorder that needs to be kind of like helped and mended a little bit by medication, but it's not a hallucination really, because it's not something that just, hallucination is really just something that just occurs, right? Mine, when I say I hear music in my head, it's because there was a thought process that led me there, right? There's a whole thought process that led me there. I was thinking about, I was riding on my bike to work, and how I was listening to music there, and then I'm like, oh man, that one song is so great, and then a whole thought process, and then it leads me there. I believe hallucinations, they're just like, they occur, but I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist. I don't know this stuff, but I just have my own kind of thoughts on yeah, see, and that's the thing for me, that never happens unless I am already in bed and I wake up from a dream. This is something that I had for many years, and I hated it, and it was always very scary to me. I would wake up from a dream, but I was still dreaming, and I would wake up again, and it would happen like 5 times or something. Wake up, keep on waking up, keep on thinking I'm out of a dream, and I wasn't awake, and I wasn't awake, and then I finally wake up. But I have never really sat there and was not sure whether something was real or not. I have wished for things around me to be unreal, and was like, maybe this can this be, in all the powerful gods, just be a dream, a nightmare, you know what I mean? But it's not. Yeah, so they have a hard time, like, knowing what's really real and what's not. And of course, you do go through this process when you meditate, for instance, right? When you do certain meditations, then the line can become very, but you understand that in that moment because you sat down. I sit there by my altar. I go through the motions, so I realize, even so I may not be in reality right now, something that I think maybe is not real right now, but I understand all this because I pretty much summoned this state of my mind, right? That's what shamanism is about. I summoned to be in this stage. I put myself in this stage purposefully, you know what I mean? So that's different. So, but that is always still a thing to me that is a little bit tricky, because I'm a person that's why I don't really, I'm not a drug user, I don't do things like that, because I'm a type of person that I need to be in control of myself at all times. Like, I try my best to discipline myself to keep my body, my spirit, my soul, everything in complete control. So for me, it is always a little bit difficult to meditate because you have to let go, which is fine. I have no hard time to command my spirit to let go so I can properly meditate. But then as soon as this happens, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, where are you taking me? What's happening? I hate it, I can't control it. Okay, stop. You know what I mean? But you have to do it, and then I'm like, okay, take a break. Take a break and then pick it back up again, because I am so fast at it. I'm so fast at traveling into that. But that's because I've been doing this for what did I say the other day? 25 years I've been doing this. You know what I mean? So it did not fall easy for me at first at all. at all. I had to force myself. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't concentrate. It was like, no. Now, zip, I'm there. You know, it's training. So, and you really, and it's just like I blame, you know, my whole blood and my ancestors, and I blame everybody. I'm like, you guys are taking me on this ride right now, on this crazy ride, and I really fucking hate it right now, but I love it too. But I hate it because I can't control it. But if I start controlling it, then it's not real. Then it's not real meditation. So what am I? So you know, it's so fucked up. It's fucked up. But my phone has been just like vibrating like crazy. What's going on here? Am I important? Nobody's important. I love when people. Wow. Oh, no, never mind. I thought somebody actually supported me. Never the mind. Thanks for coming, Cart. Can I just call you Cart? That was really nice. I had a really nice time talking to you. I hope you'll be back, and I hope we can pick that up another time. Next week, probably. Sorry, guys. Everybody left now. All right, guys. So so it's been an hour and 45 minutes. So we had some really good conversation here today. So I think I can kind of, you know, say maybe I give it an early outie today. So I can kind of do some other things. Because there's only one person in here right now. I think that may be Mr. Weird, but I'm not sure. But I really had a really great time, and I want to thank everybody for being here. And these were really good topics that we were discussing today, and really, I think we got some work done and some, you know, some thoughts out there for people to maybe give it some more thought, you know. So I think I'm gonna just head out for today, and I'm gonna be seeing you guys probably latest on Monday if I don't decide to do like an impromptu stream maybe this weekend, because I don't really have any plans this weekend. But then again, I want to work on some music, I think, this weekend. So we'll see. But maybe I'll be back. But thank you, everybody, for coming. And I will see you Monday. Always remember, we mourn those in turmoil. Have a good night. Tschüss, zdravo, and bye. Oh, hi, Marcia. How are you? I'm about to... Oh my god, now we got a bunch of people in here. We got Forbidden in here now, and then we got Marcia. How are you guys doing? I was just gonna leave. Glad to see you guys. I hope you are doing well. Yeah, that's okay. That happens. Yeah, because it's only said like one viewer. That's why I was gonna go, but yeah, I mean, you know, because I've been on here almost 2 hours already anyway. You know, so maybe you guys check back with me on Monday. Thank you, Forbidden. Have a good night, okay? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in too, Marcia. I really wish you guys a good night. Bye.